Hi, Dave Markham here for the Brockporter TV show. The TV show will be aired hopefully once a week if I can keep up the schedule. We'll see. It's been quite a week. On Thursday, the Brockporter Quarterly Journal did arrive. There's a few typographical errors and some formatting problems, but basically it looks pretty spiffy, and it is now for sale at the Liftbridge Bookshop, 45 Main Street, Brockport, New York. And the theme article, the theme of the journal this quarter is on managing the housing stock. It starts with an article by Pam Ketchum on the Webster rental empire. There's an article by Madeline Smith, who is a SUNY college student, on the Liftbridge Bookshop, which has been an anchor store in downtown Brockport, the Victorian Business Village, for 40 years, along with Dunn's and Fowler's Funeral Home and Stahl's Lumber. The Kootzes have done a great job with it, and they're retiring, and they have sold the store to two young local people who will do a great job with it. But I thought it would be interesting for people who have been in Brockport any period of time to know the history of this business and how Archie and Patty Coots have developed it over time. There's a wonderful article in there by my daughter Kelly, who now lives in Pasadena, where she describes growing up in Brockport at 348 Main Street, on the corner of Main Street and Coleman Creek. I think it's a delightful article. Of course, she's my daughter, so I'm biased, but I think you might enjoy it. There is an article by Bill Andrews, which actually was a speech he gave at an open meeting back at the time of dissolution, discussing the difference between the two communities of Sweden and Brockport. His argument is that they're quite different, and it would be very difficult for representatives and officials in the town of Sweden to actually properly manage and administer the village. So that's a very interesting article. And then there's two articles in there that I wrote, one about when houses are no longer homes, the devolution of neighborhoods in a college town. And I discuss the difference in the village core, what I call the old village, that was built prior to World War II, where I had my paper route and played in the neighborhoods with my childhood friends, and what it has turned into at the present time. And then the article about looking forward, what will be the future of Brockport over the next 5, 10, 20 years. What do we want it to be like? Some people like Carol Hannon, for example, and a few others are trying to reclaim our neighborhoods and make them suitable once again for owner-occupied homes living. And whether that can be done or not remains to be seen. Kathy Christensen, our new trustee, was sworn in at the November 17th meeting. She's taking the place of Carol Hannon. Kathy is a great choice, a great appointment by our mayor. She's a teacher and lives on Main Street in Brockport, and actually Carol Hannon's childhood home, where she grew up with her parents. And they also bought and managed the rental property right next door. And their property between Brockway and Adams Street is a great example of not being able to tell the difference between an owner-occupied home and a house being used for rental. Both very well maintained, very orderly, and Kathy will be a great addition to the Brockport board. The Stoneyard Brewing Company is planning on buying the old roller rink over on Clinton Street, just where you go up over the Smith Street Bridge on the left there, and turning it into a brewery. They also have plans maybe to have corporate luncheons there and that sort of thing, but the primary use of the building will be to brew micro beers, which they already do over at the Stoneyard, but according to their presentation at the beginning of the village board meeting, the new building in Clinton Street will not be a retail venue, but rather one to brew their beers and also perhaps have corporate meetings and kind of like a corporate parties and that sort of thing. Dan Hendricks presented at the board, says the Brockport budget is in good shape. Something the disillusionist said could never happen. And in fact, we're doing better than many of the municipalities. He discussed for a few minutes the article that was in the Democrat Chronicle at the end of October about all the municipalities that have inappropriate surpluses. Brockport has an appropriate surplus and is doing very well. And if I understood him correct, Lee, the residents of Brockport can look forward probably to a rebate check from the New York State because Brockport has stayed under its tax cap of 1.5%. Unlike the town of Sweden, which has already announced it is going to override the 2% tax cap. So I don't know for sure whether the people in the town of Sweden are going to get their rebate, but sounds like us people in Brockport are going to get it, which is great. You got to give our village board a great deal of credit. It was also announced by Mr. Miller, the new code enforcement officer, that he has completed the code inspection of exteriors in Brockport. He said he did 444, something like that, inspections. 313 were in violation, which is 53%. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 75% of the exterior inspections were in violation. That was 313 out of the, well, I can give you the figure here if you're really interested. It was pretty impressive, actually. Sounds like Mr. Miller is doing a great job. I was very impressed with his report. Yes, here we go. 422 properties were exteriorly inspected. Of the 422, there was 313 violations, which is 75% were found in violation. He said 169 of those 313 have already completed what they needed to do to bring their properties into compliance. And another 144 are yet to be in compliance, but they have till May 15th, 2015 to take care of it because of the winter months here. So that sounded pretty reasonable to me. He also reported that there's a regular patrol now for garbage, and if appliances and sofas and other garbage is being left too long, they will get ticketed, and the landlord will have 24 hours to remove it, or the DPW will do it for them, and I'm assuming send them a bill. So that's a great news for those of us who have had to live with the incompetent and inadequate garbage disposal in a lot of these rental houses. Trustee Andrews announced that Jimmy Z stated to him personally that he was going to withdraw his application for a dumpster, a dumpster on College Street, which apparently he intended to use to collect garbage from his multiple rental properties. College Street, of course, is a beautiful old residential, used to be primarily owner-occupied houses, which now is flipped the other way, and most of the houses in College Street are rentals. And again, parking, driveways, garbage in that neighborhood have been a big problem, which does not bode well for any person who would want to buy one of those properties for owner occupancy. So it's good news that Jimmy Z, for whatever reason, has decided to withdraw his request for his dumpster. The mayor stated that on December 15th there will be a public hearing to change the language in the public law. Most of it is just editing the law to change the word town justice to village justice. A lot of those laws said that the adjudication of the matters would occur in the Sweden Justice Court, which of course is going to change as of February to the Brockporter Village Court. So the terminology in that law, in those various sections of the law, has to be changed to indicate that those cases will be adjudicated in the village court, not in the town court. But then at the end, she said an interesting thing. They've kind of tacked onto this a little thing, too, to change the time people would have to pay their parking tickets. Apparently, now what it says in the public law is that people have 30 days to change their parking tickets, pay their parking fines. However, there's been a great deal of difficulty in collecting these fines, although it's improved a great deal under Mayor Blackman's plan. Kudos off to her. But they want to change the 30 days to 10 days. So apparently, if the change in the new law occurs, the time to pay your parking tickets will change from 30 days to 10 days, and thereafter there will be an additional penalty. So if you don't like that, you might want to go out to the public hearing on December 15th and let the board know why you don't agree with that. Personally, I do agree with that. I think that's a good idea. Mr. Andrews also, Trustee Andrews, said that the Greater Brockport Development Corporation is going to engage in a new marketing campaign. Then their slogan is Culture Crazy Canal Port. Culture Crazy Canal Port. Trying to promote all the cultural events and resources that we have here in Brockport, which include things like a different path gallery on Market Street, and Morgan Manning House, and Sankofa Dance Group, and the community chorus, and big band, and the other community bands and things. And he had quite a list there. I think I'll probably slice that portion of the village board meeting and put it up in a separate post. So lastly, the mayor mentioned that November 29th, that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, is what they call Small Business Saturday. And there's an effort to get people to come down to the Old Business District in Brockport and patronize the stores that we have in our village. And as a little enticement, I guess the village trustees are going to be at B.B. Mills Women's Shop, which is across from the Strand Theater, and offering free coffee and mulled cider. So if you come down to Brockport on Saturday, November 29th, stop at the B.B. Mills and get a free cup of coffee and some mulled cider, and you probably get to chat with the mayor and some of the trustees that are there. Also, while you're down there, buy the Brockporter Quarterly Journal, which is on sale at the Liftbridge Bookshop. It helps me and helps the Brockporter gain the resources to keep up this important work. So I hope you'll take a look at the journal, and any comments, feedback, letters to the editor, I'd be happy to receive, and with the author's permission, perhaps print in a future edition. That's it. Thank you for watching the Brockporter TV show, and I look forward to seeing you next week after Thanksgiving. Have a good week.